Got some golden plants in the background. You see the lion on axe. You see his face is not looking good. He needs some dental work too. He's got so many hands. Why, hello there. It is 193 days until Elden Ring comes out on January 21st, 2022, and this is the Elden Wait. For today's episode, I want to go through the gameplay trailer, sort of frame by frame. I'm going to do it as sort of this live analysis session where I am using my video editing software as how I zoom in on videos and how I get the extra information. And I was thinking there might be some value for people who don't have the software to look at the trailers and the way that I do. And so I thought it might be some value and might be fun for some people to get to just go through me, going frame by frame, zooming in, taking a look at things. At the very least, so you can also see the trailer sort of how people, like myself and other people, Sophie, Vadi, Mordecai, other people who are looking at these videos, the tools they use to sort of pick out things that are otherwise sort of hard to see. So with that, let's get right into it. Okay, so we have it here, the start of the trailer, and let's get right into it so I can sort of show you what's happening. So what I'm able to do, I use Sony Vegas for anyone wondering, and that is what you are seeing right now is a full screen projection of the video. And I'm just going to do a few things. So thought we could just take a look. This is sort of how I look at things. So we can get right up here. One interesting thing I notice here is there's like these hairs coming off of the armor, and you see this in some other shots too, but I'm not really sure like what that is exactly, but it's interesting. But there you get that nice full shot, and then you can go back to the regular shot. We'll let it advance a little bit so you see the mount and the snout. I don't think there's anything to see there, but let's just take a look. Let's see. Yeah, nothing. It's interesting to look at the background. I'm not quite sure what's happening. It's intentionally, sort of nondescript, I think, but you can make out, some water, maybe some grass and trees. So it seems like it might be outside. Are there some candles in the background? Let's see. What is that? Something back there, but get back, we'll advance it a little more. All right. So I got this lady, our sort of waifu character. So I'm going to change my screen so I can do a few other things to manipulate the camera as we go. I see. Actually, I wanted to take a look on. So on her hand, I believe there's some like scarring or something. Yeah, you can see some marks on her hand there. So that's kind of interesting. Is yeah, some sort of scarring, and then the ring, which is of course unsurprisingly gold. And yeah, some sort of scarring. Is there anything else in this shot worth taking a look at? Some more of the background looks like maybe some wood or something. Interesting. Hopefully this sort of view doesn't make anyone sick. Just sort of zooming around. But yeah, so there's that shot, and I will bring us back to the reg, and we will advance. logo. Let's see. I don't see anything here. Here, I'll advance it slower than that. So we can see, let's see. Me framing through. Let's see. Not much to see there. So you see that she's taking off. Let's see, I think it's fading in, so we're not going to see too much. But again, you can see her hand. She's taking off the ring. This will also be a good video because at this point, I have analyzed it, others have analyzed it, and I think we've seen a lot from the trailer, and I will try to point out everything that I've seen, and maybe some smaller details that wouldn't normally be worth sharing, but I'll share. This is the perfect context to just go crazy. Candle in the background. See, again, you can sort of see that scarring on the hand, taking off the ring. All right. Continue from there. And I don't know, can you see, I don't know if you can see her hair here. Let's mess with the levels a bit. That's another thing I like to use sometimes, is to mess with the levels. And we will, I think we will get the color bumped up and the contrast. So let's see. Okay, let's turn that one off. Mess with the colors a little bit. Let's see. I don't like that one. It's a bad filter for this. Okay. Yeah, so bumping this up, you can see that she seems to have sort of reddish, brownish hair. And it seems to lean on the red side when you're really bumping that up. Yeah, which is interesting, so. See. Yeah, you can sort of make the out there, it's some red hair when you're messing with the color values. So there we go. Go back to the regular. And we will advance it. Otherwise, you see like a lantern in the background. All right. Let's advance this. Get out of the fade in. But just barely. We can take a look around at stuff. All right. There we go. Okay. And let's see what we can see around here on this shot. Take a look at all this fun stuff. So I believe, is it here or is it, I believe it is here, where it seems that you fight the dragon. Later, the sort of wyvern, because there's similar structures, like there's this sort of notable broken up building right there, and then over here a little bit you have this sort of cliff face, which I believe you can see with the dragon and that ruined building in the background. This is an interesting thing for me. There's this gatehouse, and if you look at these sort of the graces, also there's this structure right here, this bridge, and that it seems to be where you see that in the shot with the wyvern as well, I believe. And so we see mostly trees. See this grace here, and if you follow these paths of light, you can see there's this gatehouse, and then beyond there's another one, and you actually can see down here winding through the middle of the shot is this main road that I believe we see on and off in the trailer. So I think this is the main path that the character is following. Let's see what else we can see. You see some of the shafts light. Generally broken down landscape. You see there's plenty of these like incidental opportunities for interactions with enemies and going into some camps. Like, I don't know what this is here. It's kind of interesting. Plenty of broken down things. What is that? It almost looks like there's a symbol on this building. Let me zoom in a little more. Maybe that's just a texture. I think I can see that repeating. But there's, yeah, maybe just some scratches. There's this mixture of ruins and other stuff. What else is here? You can see the falling leaves. They look to me to be like oak leaves, which is not surprising. But you can see in some of the screenshots, you can see that a little more clearly. So then up here we have, let's see, what can we see out in the fog? Not too much. You can see through the tree the ruins of another like building, and you can see that it's not just, you know, tree. There's like, you know, you can see some like vines on it, some ethereal stuff. Pretty interesting. One of these towers that you see a few of. Behind it, you can see some more ruins. Sort of back there in this spot, and then let's see. So you can see the tower. You can see quite a few of them, and a little bit of a close up of the broken bridge going to that tower. Let's see what else. I'd just like to peek around. There's a bridge going across here. It's interesting because this bridge here looks like it was perhaps made after the shattering, or it was convenient, but there is clearly plenty of buildings that have fallen into these like chasms or cracks, which to me seem to be part of the catastrophic nature of the shattering. And I think this is the shot. Yeah, I think this is part of the mountain that we see here. What we will see in, I think, one of the upcoming shots pretty quickly. You can see some more bridge. See, and you get this angle here with this bridge running out towards these ruins in the distance. And you know, it seems like there's a series of these bridges coming from different angles. And I think you can see one of these other towers out here, possibly. So it seems like there's quite a few of these bridges. This isn't necessarily the only one. Let's see. Let's see some more of these destroyed buildings. You see a little bit of similar building shapes. Maybe pieces of the bridge. Hard to tell. This is very zoomed in. And here you can see the Lion Castle. And so let's take a look here. So like this is, I believe this is the gatehouse where we see some of the action. But it's interesting too, here you can see these like this place is all messed up, you know, with being attacked. You know, I think the trailer shows that this was attacked by dragons, and those like wyvern things. You eventually see the many armed guy using the head of one at the end of the trailer. But you can see destruction all through here because it's very ornate, and then you see these inconsistencies in this destruction. So it is interesting how you actually end up getting up to this point. You can see this pretty unique entrance that sort of defines that. but the sense of scale is impressive to me because it's pretty small. So let's see what else we can say. I think we've really looked around this shop pretty thoroughly though. But there's lots of these cool details just to make out. And like when I'm looking at this landscape, like there's so many opportunities for fun interactions. And the verticality I think will be so fun, like getting here to here to here, you know, riding around, but also if they're letting you jump up these and finding like doing some like light platforming with your mount, I think that could be pretty fun. So yeah, we'll get it back to the whole view that you would normally see it at. So there you have that. There you go. We'll advance it a little bit. I have the sound off for this because sound when you're going slow sounds just awful. So it is not, it would be an assault on your ears. And just while we're getting a little bit more of this tree, let me just take a look up here. I think it's mostly the leaves of the tree. But it's interesting because, you know, it seems like there's the leaves, but then is the tree like, you know, what else is happening? Looks like there's some particle effects. Like, you know, like the tree is clearly like dying or like, I don't think quite burning is the right word, but it does have sort of that appearance. Like there's something, because you can tell like the leaves on some of these branches, but then there's this more intense coloring going on in the background. And I'm not sure exactly what that indicates, but there you have that. Okay, and now we have this shot, and if anybody wanted to see a nice up close shot of this dude, you can. There he is in all his glory. Got a nice little, he's got a little cardigan too. He can be part of the cardigan gang. Alright, so we have this guy. Look at all these pretty plants. You got these pretty blue plants. You got different colors here. It's very nice, very colorful. And let's look across. You got this water. You just got some general ruins over here. Yeah, nothing to write home about. Oh, looks like you got a little. I can't. I think those are just birds. I thought maybe those were some wyverns, but I think those are just birds. You got the air tree, so we're closer than in that first shot. Got a nice view of this building. You got that tower that we saw before, and yeah, you got general ruins of, you know, so it wasn't always like this. The geography has had, you know, been dramatically changed or altered since these buildings were built. Lots of birds flying around. See those beams of light. Let's see, is there anything to see back along here? Looks like some general ruins. Oh, I think you can see another one of these dudes because you can see the shape of his whole thing. But then I didn't actually notice that before, but then in the background it looks like there's another one of those back there. And then and you can see another shape over here too. So he's not so lonely. It looks like he has some friends. So that's nice. Some birds. That's about all for that shot. You got, what do you got? I don't think you can see much in here, but you got some ornament here, some statues built into that building. This tower is much more rough hewn on this side than what it appears in the first shot, which is sort of interesting. It looks like it's like carved out of this naturally occurring landscape. There you go, there's that. I think that's about all for this shot. Okay. So I'm gonna go back a few frames until that text goes away. There we go. Alright, what all can we see here? So you can see some enemies hanging out. You see a few different, you see the air tree symbol around here a few times. There's this other symbol that has these interlocking circles that looks like the Elden Ring logo or the Golden Order logo. Again, you got these dudes. You got somebody here. You see a little bit of that Morian helmet in the background. So we got that. It's very autumnal shot. And, you know, I kind of wonder, are these trees supposed to be like golden? Because some of this is pretty golden looking. And we want to be on the lookout for things that are golden. And this whole landscape is looking very golden. And then obviously the big feature is this mountain in the background. It has this, you know, steam coming out. Maybe it's volcanic. Maybe that's a dragon being there. You know, it's these interesting juts of rock. You can see the, you know, trees and stuff inside the mountain. See some more birdies flying. I like the skybox here. It's a really rich color. And you can see the ruins. There's a bunch of ruined buildings back there, which is fun. And let's see. Oh, I also wanted to point this out. You can see a little bit of one of those shapes that looks like one of those carts, you know, the giants pull. So there's one of those lurking in this shot. And what else can we see in here? There's a few of these camps, it looks like, in the distance. Obviously, we have this ghostly thing, which is very interesting and mysterious. And I think if we zoom in quite a bit, you can sort of see it looks like it's another air tree symbol on this. So we can actually advance this just to see, does that change? Let's see. Do we get a better view? I think we do. Come on, give me a little more of that. Okay, so yeah, it's got some shape going on there. Yeah. Yeah, you see almost some other like interlocking rings. I think, I'm not quite sure what that is, but that's all very interesting looking. Let's advance this a little more. See if we get a better shot of it. Yeah, definitely the interlocking rings though. Oops. On to the next shot. Okay, so let's see. Anything else that we get from here? I think that's about it. You know, I like seeing this repeating pattern. You actually see this on the tiles on the cobblestones of the main road I pointed out in the first shot. So, yeah, let's get back to this. Delete a few of these. Okay. And then we'll let it advance. All right. Let's move it a few frames back. We get some of those. Okay. Now let's see. There's plenty of fun things to pick out here. I wanted to just take a quick look at how much we can see of these. Yeah, so you can just barely make it out, but I think you can see the pointed nose of one of those wyverns. So it's the same design as the other wyvern that we see more up close and that we see fighting the player later in the trailer. And one thing I wanted to point out, which I think is kind of interesting, besides floating rubble, is you can see like here, and you're really zooming in here. So it's not just the columns that are made out of these like canine, you know, I'm reading this as like a canine skull, you know, these like canine corpses. But actually, like, yeah, you can see it even right here. But this whole building, just the structure of the wall is just filled with corpses, which is dark. Oh yeah, you can see it really well here. Yeah, a whole bunch of, you know, you got this very canine look, which is very interesting. I can't tell if they're actually canines or like we'll see like dog people. I don't know exactly what's going on there. But we got that, and then let's check out the Golden Order symbols, what we're assuming with these interlocking rings. More than the Elden Ring logo. This has like 6. The Elden Ring logo has more like 4. You got these 3 dogs with this person who looks like they're praying. Very interesting. More canine corpse action. A very uneven floor. It'd be hard for me to walk on this floor. I would trip walking on this floor. There's way too many little, the floor is not smooth. It's too uneven for me. I would trip all the time. So think about that. Dark Souls or Elden Ring. Oh, I got a train coming through. And next, I think we got those. We got these dudes. So let's check them out. So we got a fire here. I wanted to point out, we see these glowing red flowers all over this trailer. That is definitely in the lead for like potential like healing item out in the world. Looks like beyond here. I don't know what this coloring is, if that's the sky or what's going on there. They got these guys who don't move. They appear like frozen in place, and they're all like covering their faces. You can tell up here. And let's see. Actually, I want to zoom in on this guy. So, does it look like he has like red eyes or something? There's something red about whatever's going on in there. You see some more of those glowing red flowers. Lots of trees. And you see another guy who looks like he's doing the same, covering his face, praying. But then you also can make out this dude here, and he's just chilling out. So I'm not sure what he's up to, but he's not in the same state as his buddies. So there's that. Now let's advance it some more. Let's see. Not too much to make out here, although let's take a nice gander of the back of this armor. Got some nice white flowers. Got like a horn or something on the belt. Again, you can see that furry pattern, which is more clear here. Like it's like fur lined, and then you have this more decorative stuff. But yeah, it's an interesting design, because yeah, it's very clearly like fur. It must be lined. Maybe it's for like a nice warm climate. And you can see the hair of. I'm not sure if it's the character or if it's the helmet. I think it might be the helmet. Got a nice sunset. There's almost the impression of, it's hard to tell, but I almost think you can see the vague impression of like a building down there or something. Okay, let's get it back to, advance it. Yeah, I think you sort of can make out like something down there. Okay, let's back that up. Really check out that animation. Let's see, I'll get a little bit of a. Again, you can see all the fur on the armor. Little helmet. I do think that, yeah, that's the hair coming out of the helmet. I think it's the same hair you have here. It's more of that. So, interesting. I always like to check behind through the air tree. You can see it seems to be like another bridge. over there. Yes, there is. Not too much in the background here, but we can get some details on this armor. See the front now. Pretty cool helmet. I really like that design quite a bit. Very nice. It's like, again, some gold accents, which is not surprising at all, but just nice details to pick out when the light catches it the right way. Really interesting armor. Chainmail coming right up on the face. And design of the shoulder pads. Okay. Then we'll advance it. You can see a frame by frame animation. Jumping on the mount. As the mount comes into existence, our ephemeral mount. Nice. So now we have this shot, which I don't think this is similar. This is off sort of to the right hand side of that sort of main first shot we saw. I don't really think there's too much to pick out, but you can see some more ruins. You get another shot over here. You can see the lion castle. You can see the mountain in the distance. There's the aired tree. You can see the sort of cauldron that we will see later. Another one of these towers in the distance. Generally some trees. You see a shaft of light. And I think those shafts of light will coincide with something. Got the sun there. Your dude are up on the horse. All right. I don't think there's much to make out in this little quick transition. So we see this platforming from the these like tombstones that are kind of placed jutting out of the side of the earth, which is interesting. Character seems to be holding a straight sword. I don't know if we can. Let's see. I also wanted to point out just a few details. We'll see it. We see it in a screenshot, but you can see the gold horns here. Our mount also has golden eyes. Let's see. Gonna get right up here. Just taking a look at the hilt. Yeah, it looks like a straight sword there. White fur. Nothing super big to see in the background or anything here. It's defocused anyways. We'll continue. Just a few small details to pick out. Got some glowing red bushes. Looks like some more healing stuff, if that's what those bushes are, but we see them so often. There you go, a little fence in the forest. I want to see. We're gonna get real zoomed in for a second. Oh, you can see some nice, like, purpley pink flowers. I'm trying to see, is that sunlight catching something, or is that a symbol? I'm tempted to say that that's a symbol, but it could be light catching something. I'm talking about this sort of tree-ish shape, which might just be light on a tree, but it's sort of hard to tell. Let's advance the frames just to see if that helps. Yeah. I think there's a chance that I'm not sure, that might just be light catching, but it's sort of standing out there so unnaturally. Let's see. But it doesn't seem like it's like on a banner or anything. Interesting. I'm not totally sure what that is, but it's worth pointing out, taking a quick look at. All right. This is a fun shot. I think I want to see Vadi mentioned that there's like an enemy sort of half spawning in, but I wanted to take a look at it. I see a rock. Maybe that's an enemy. General ruins. You can see a tattered banner. Got this misty valley. Been reading Berserk. So, like a misty valley, I think of elves. You got this ruins in the distance. This large, not aired tree. It's much smaller than the air tree, but it's pretty large. Yeah. These jets of rock, followed by this castle with this sort of broken bridge leading up to it. And I can't quite tell if this is the same as what I'm calling the Burger King castle, where we see the Burger King later. I think there's a decent chance it is, but I'm not totally sure about that. You don't see a shot that like super confirms similar architecture. Not to the degree that I would like. Let's see. Got sort of a jutting. I can't. That might just be rock, but it stands out a little bit to me. Otherwise, yeah, you got this very jagged valley. You got a ruined tower or something in the distance. This next shot will take place farther along this route. So I just think going around this world is gonna be really fun because it's got some like platforming. It just looks fun to move around on the mount, which is very encouraging. So let's see this continue to play out. So now let's see, is it here? Or, yeah, I think at the beginning. So now we're obviously closer to that castle that we saw, and you can see this valley more. Oops. So I'm just trying to make out this formation, this tree. I'm seeing if I see that in the next shot. Oh yeah, so you see the tree right there. This will lead up to the ruins of the castle. Zoom in. You have some sparkly stuff down here. Maybe like an item or grace or something. Some sort of blue item. Okay, let's see what else we can see here. Look at that big ass tree. You see the forest. I wonder if this fog is always around or if this is just a particular world state or what's going on, but it's really atmospheric, so I kind of hope it's a feature of these woods, but we will see. Some more jets of rock coming out. I like the framing with that tree. Love the sense of scale. Get a nice shot of this place from the side here. More jets of rock. Wanted to frame through to see how the angle changes. You can see some other ruined buildings in the distance, which appear to also be up on some outcropping. You also have a slightly better angle here I think this is the grace that was talked about in the Elden Ring tweet. And I do wonder if the swirling thing is sort of what helps you identify them, because it looked quite small in the screenshot from Bandai Namco. I think we can advance it. Okay, let's go back. I just want to see what we see at the end. Alright, so you get to see more of this landscape here. I just wanted to take a look at a few things over there. One, you actually do see a better view of those. And is that a shaft of light coming down? I don't think it's a shaft of light from the tree, but it is more lit up there. Lots of rocks, and you see a tower in the distance. Right over here. Some birds. Pathway. Some really spiky rocks. There's something red over here. Not sure what that is. Might be a plant. Not entirely sure. You can sort of see this over here in the distance better. Actually, interestingly, what I haven't really noticed before is you can see quite a bit of wall here too for this. It's sort of, you can see down here, there's this wall coming along here, and this bridge, these bridges coming around, and then we see the buildings over there, and then it almost seems like it wraps around. Interesting. Over there. We see the ruins. We can't quite see the ruins, but we see some other ruins down below. See this very tall tower, that dome. Again, you can catch there's light being caught in those like gold accents, which is not surprising. But yeah, actually I hadn't really paid attention to this before, so that's cool. That's worth keeping note of. All right. Again, what you're normally looking at. Let's advance it. Okay. Few details here. Very tiny version of you. This is the jump pad that people talk about. Oh, sort of, you can see the water splashing up. Some very vibrant vegetation on this dude. You can see this bridge appears to be broken. I think it leads to the castle we saw in the distance, and part of the reason I think that is that you can also see these ruins, which were up in the hilltop on that first of those shots, riding out into this valley. And I think we're in this misty, foggy forest. I don't know, because you can see all the mist, the trees, the same juts of rock. They're very similar. So I think we're over right near. I think that yeah, you can actually. So there's the bridge coming here, and then actually what we just saw, you can see this other bridge wrapping around back here. So yeah, so I think that's the castle in the background. But then as for this large beast, we have the bell. You can see the hints of the building on top with the tower, trees. Very cool stuff. I wonder what happens when you ring that bell, even though it's quite a bit higher than you. Also, I'd like to point out there's sort of a golden hue to the trees. I don't know if they are golden or if that's just how the light's catching them over here, but it's worth noting. Let's advance it. I want to advance this one by frame. Big splash of water. Is there anything to make out? I'm curious about. What if those buildings we saw in the distance before, like those three buildings, are actually on top of this guy? Some sort of detail work here. Yeah, I'm sort of curious. So, like, it's probably not it, but I'm just curious. Let's go back just for a second. No, I was wondering if it was these buildings, but I don't. It's not. That would be different. Just trying to see if there's any hint of seeing this, because I do think so. You have the ruined building over here that we see in the background. You have this bridge, which I think is broken. So I think that would put you down below here, roughly, somewhere in that zone for that next shot we're currently looking at. So there you have that. Let's advance it. I'll frame it a little bit. Scale is awesome. Okay. So now we got this awesome looking moon in the background there. You got the giants pulling the cart. Okay. Zoom in. You see the cauldron, a little bit of a tower. Just see them like the design of this. So it's got like this plug thing to stop it. This giant nail. These chains are so thick. Brutal. You got the horseman riding up. You see that serpent shield, the Morian helmet. You see the Erd tree, the lion, indicating some affiliation with the lion castle. Hearts, little lit thing, some general zombie-ish dudes. I think there's too much else to make out there. And got a little birdie. Some more gravestones. So, with the location of the Erd tree, this is taking place somewhere in that first shot that we saw. So, a lot of these shots occur within the realm of that first big shot we saw of the world. Gonna frame through a little bit, see if we catch anything. Some nice shadows. Yeah, nothing big there. I'm gonna advance it just a little bit. Let's see if you want to check out these guys up close. So, also, this big ass tree. I wonder if that's the same big ass tree we see in the other shots with the castle and stuff, because that's a very large tree. But there might be, there's plenty of room for large trees in this game, I think. So, interesting to note though. They're like, looks like there's like hooks coming off of it, so like you couldn't pull out of it with it being very painful and doing a lot of damage. All sorts of discoloration. Things are not going well for this person. Besides the fact that their whole like inside is like exposed. They got lots of their skin is in horrible shape. Got terrible stuff going on there. They look like a tree. See a few details there on that. I don't see any noticeable symbols on the carts. You do see the red and green on these standard soldiers. The red is the lion, the green is the Erd tree. You can see the golden symbols. And see some of those red flowers. I think those are the glowy red flowers. Along. Oh, and I don't know if you can see it in this shot. It's not easy to make out yet. I wanted to show the cobblestones. You can see that pattern on them. We'll advance this. So you can tell here this is that like interconnected pattern that we saw on in the encampment. You could also see. We'll frame it a little bit. You can see like maybe a structure or a building in the background there. There you have a nice shot of the pattern on those, the interlocking circles. Nice shot of two-handing your weapon. Zooming up on this enemy horseman. You can sort of see there some sort of Celtic looking symbols on their cloak. Gonna cut away. See the horn on them, on the player character. You see that they try to swing, but they don't end up connecting. Good view of the gold on the horns at the base. Now we're on to this next shot. This room with the painting. We got all these limbs. Let's see what details you can get. Notice that a lot of these limbs are like multiple limbs are attached. Not regular. Lots of blood dripping. Even looks like an arm or something fell off there. Horrible. And it's let's see if we can actually make it out. You can make it out more in the screenshot, but we see the symbol of the lion back here. And then you see this painting with this dude who has this large like tiger lion creature behind him. It looks more like a tiger to me, but the fact that the symbol of this like castle is all like lions, maybe this is a lion. Yeah, you can see a lion, like the mane coming off. I think this is like a paw or something. So, you know, I don't know if this was a previous lord or maybe even the current one. Hard to tell exactly. Let's see if we can get any more details on this dude zooming in. So there's the face. Got a beard. There's like golden gauntlet. Looks like there might be an Erd tree symbol there, not entirely sure. The arms. Okay, let's advance it some more. You see the big face here. You're going up a very big ladder. To me, these look like tentacles coming out from underneath. You can even see some like little spikies coming off of it. A big sea creature with a face. You see the impression of that third eye up on the top, but you see like the bridge of this nose, which looks very much like that eye we'll see later. Worth noting. A giant jellyfish or something. Tentacles coming out. Kind of looks like the little bit of the statue too that we see in the underground, which is the main connection for me. Frame it. I think you're just gonna see frames of someone going up a ladder, but oh yeah. So then we get here. You got your torch. A little bit of a pattern on that stuff. It just looks like some general symbols. But yeah, you have this guy in there. Looks like there's some tentacles here. You can see a bit of an Erd tree symbol down here. Looks interesting. And then yeah, the tentacles look like sort of tentacly here, which might just be an extension of the hair, but it's still worth noting. You don't see like a third eye up here or anything, but this guy is also underground. So I'm seeing if there's any dots to connect. Some like, don't know, stalactites, which one that is. You see some little tiny enemies. You see another one of the statues. You can see that these guys are very hunched over. There's a whole bunch of them, and they have just the arc of their back. Their head is like below their shoulders, so they're very hunched over in this space. And I made mention of it before, but this sort of, these columns are very like, this reads to me as older architecture than the Gothic we see up top. Seems to be more like Greek in nature, which just reads older. Especially this design of this like unornamented, segmented column piece. You have this top, you know, it reads as the remains of maybe a hypostyle temple or something along those lines. You have these braziers at the end. Lots of interesting little details. You see a looks to be like a little item down there, I think. Maybe a couple, a little item here, a little item there. The same armor on the player character. We'll frame it. Yeah, you don't see the enemies moving in this shot, I don't think. It makes me wonder if some of these enemies, like if they're not moving, or if for this trailer they're not animated or something, just because they don't move at all. And then we have a shot of the pot boys. To make out some little details. You got their little legs popping out at the bottom of the pot. I love how their arms come out like through these like the rings, like these handles. And then one over there got the swirly pattern. This interlocking sort of Celtic pattern. There's not much else going on here. Sort of the implication to me is that this is also underground in this shot. It's a really quick shot. Got your little pop boy dancing. That's enough of that. Yeah, I think it reads underground because it's so dark. There doesn't seem to be any natural light. Then we get to here and see if we can note any details. I actually wonder if this is like in a castle here. Because you see the gate over here. See if your lamps. I'm curious if you can go down into this grated area, or if that's a pitfall. You see the character with like their straight sword, holding a torch. This seems to be like the lower level of a castle, potentially, is what it's reading like to me. Like maybe this would take you down into some underground area, but this is like a castle. Maybe even the Lion Castle. Because these shots are all clustered together with some like underground stuff. Let's frame through it. I don't think there's anything to really pick out here. Yeah, let's advance. Get to the good stuff. This horrifying guy. Same character look with the same weapon, torch, surrounding this crypt. Horrible, many-armed, king-looking guy. He's got a crown. There's stuff, like, yeah, there's this whole aura going on down here. Like, his body is obviously not right. Not just because he has so many arms, but can't tell that this is light. This may be a light source, like a weird white torch you sort of see in here. Like there's also behind right down here. It looks like it's the lighting of like an item, but I don't think it is an item. Yeah, you see this horrible green aura. Oh, make note. I mean, obviously there's some windows here letting in daylight, so this isn't totally underground, even though it kind of reads like a crypt, because I think it is a crypt. Got gaping dragon sort of situation. Tries to flop on you. The horrible face. The horrible, that's a bloodborne ass face. The character seems to have. Let's see. Strike. Strike there. Strikes the ground. I like that look. You got some blood cascading out from there. You can see the aura coming off the back there too. It looks like some crypt stuff in the background. See, like corpses. Yeah, it's like a white flame sort of torch. See, like an item back there. Well, you got this like pile of bodies. That looks like it might be like either stone or wood. See lots of roots down here. So could be wood. All right. You see, now we're on the outside of the Lion Castle. See all the architecture there, ruined tower. You can see big gashes taken out all over the place. This is the gatehouse that we will be walking down, advancing toward, I think, the boss later, potentially. Let's see. Do a little framing. Wonderful. Bunch of dirt being kicked up by this guy. Noting the golden foliage in the background. I don't know if I found a connection between it, but it seems like a lot of the boss arenas and stuff, you have like golden plants. Because we'll also see golden flowers later. Like blades of grass flying up. His hard to make out face, but you can see his like nose, and otherwise he has this like, tangle of growths that look like horns. Big rope on his clothes. Got a very soiled cloak. Let's see. So you can see right here, this is the lion symbol that we've seen a few times. I'm just charging at you with the staff. Characters wielding a shield and a sword right now. So you can see this like golden wall that has gone up that leads to the gate. Sort of golden fog wall. Same conjuring like this golden throwing knife. You can even see like this like it looks like almost like leaves coming off, which makes me think this has something to do with the Erd tree. You know, some sort of magic that's derived, you know, it has to do with the Erd tree. Cool knife. You can see this like big growth of this tail This that also has like those horns on the end. Kind of makes him look like a scorpion. See swords sticking out. You got a sword here. Halberd. So it doesn't look like they hit the player there. I was just trying to note. One thing that was interesting to note was as this animation passes, you can see it strike this scenery and it sparks. And then it's interesting to note it's sparking, I think, off of their weapon. They're two-handing now. They're not using their shield. But it looks like they block with that, and on this sword you can see the blue glowing aura. It looks like there's some blue there too, which I think is tied to the magic that we see cast soon. Then you can see they're casting this magical golden hammer, which is big as hell, and the character's rolling out of the way. Sparks off the ground. Looks very cool. A little bit of clipping there, but it's magical, so I forgive it. It's like that's a cool. It just looks cool. See this like obelisk, which we'll see again. It's got this like glowing aura coming off of it. People think that this might be tied to the multiplayer, and that this is indicating that it has not been used, but that you could summon around here if you wanted to. Which it's interesting to be able to summon like right here. I don't know if this is indicating it's not available during like a boss fight or what exactly is going on there. But characters charging up their sword with what I assume is a weapon art. Really pretty pattern. It's a cool attack. I like these deep blues also on the outskirts. It's really nice looking. Making a big ass sword. Skadoosh. See the air tree in the background. Towers. Boom. Let's see. I don't know if there's much to see here. She has largely hidden herself. There is clasp, but there's not too much to make out there. Some people have mentioned it looks like a Celtic clasp. I cannot confirm that, but I'll bring it up. Seemingly got the air tree over there. Some grass, some nighttime shot. They will die. So in this shot, you can see, I think this is a glowing plant. You can see an item over here. There appears to be like an NPC person who kind of looks like they're wearing a Jingasa. Like you see in Sekiro, it's like black and white. And you see a couple of enemies here. There's actually two of them right here. A third over here. They look pretty ragged. I think they look a lot like the people hanging. They're wielding a similar weapon, and they look similarly ragged. So I'm wondering if they actually are skeletons. They kind of have the same like hunched over look as those guys we saw down in the cavern, on that one shot underground. And then I wanted to point out is I think you can make out a cart in the background up here, which is sort of interesting. So they're lurking all over the place. And then you have this tower that we've seen in the main shot with the aired tree behind it. So this looks, I think this is the same tower and the same bridge that we see in that main shot. We'll advance this. Let's see. Get a little ruins back there. See the jump pad. So I wanted to just make note that you see these ruins, which were near that that castle. So this seems like it's probably like in this down on the same level of these misty woods. The bridge may be behind us that we saw our mount jumping off of, as they were being propelled. So it seems like it might be going from the misty forest, as you can see right there, going up to a higher spot. And this is likely not in the same location too, by the way. It actually cuts quite a few times here as we will see. But so I don't think this is the same place, but we see the player character jumping off of their mount, and you see just a group of basic sort of hollow type enemies. Got some pretty blue flowers. Let's see what we can make out. I don't think there's much to make out in the background, but got some ruins over there. Fence in the background. Let's see, you're doing a cool jumping off your horse attack. These people are in such fancy clothing. Like they got these nice like ruffles of in this pattern. It's pretty soiled clothing, but it's also pretty fancy. People of the lands between are living pretty well, or they were before whatever turned them into zombies. So then this shot here, you can see some of the stuff in. So this is right near the opening area. This statue we see, this is sort of to the left of the Lion Castle in the main shot, and we see this ruined building also right over in that main shot. So this is right near the beginning of the game. And you catch the lion castle in the background right above the soldier there. That guy's not having a good time. So it looks like this might even be on the main road. You can see by those cobblestones that I made note of a couple times. I think behind him too, you can see the large gatehouse over here. So I think this is right near the start. And I actually think this shot then cuts to a different area potentially. Maybe not, because we do see it's like golden stuff killing as if it just came off of the last enemy he fought. But I do know that it just cuts a lot more during the section than it appears at first. I think next it's time for a nighttime shot. See a little like tent, fire, got this tower, the air tree, so again it's within the realm of that main first shot we've seen. And then we have a favorite wolf dude. We can zoom in. You can see the wolf face. Got some cool armor. I can't quite make out the design of the armor. Seeing if this foot is like off, is like sort of standing awkwardly, like not on it. But I was trying to see if that is his foot or if that's just some cloth. I actually think so. This is one leg, and this is like the other leg, and so this is just some. This is an arm or some cloth. It's sort of hard to make out, which is kind of funny. Yeah. Cool armor though. Cool wolf head. I like the pommel of that sword. That's looking cool. And this seems like you can see the lion castle over here, and then you can see the busted up bridge, and so I think the air tree is over here. Got a nice shot of the player about to summon. Got a lot of nice flowers in the background. Cool particle effect. So you see the particle effect here, and then the warbliness starts over there. A different outfit than before. Yeah, you notice some of these. This kind of reminds me of the Elden Ring logo. Up here, you have this. Sort of reminds me of the top of the Elden Ring logo. You see this repeated all over the place over there. You have an encampment of soldiers. These basic serpent shield, Morian helmet, and I think these guys. Let's take a peek in, but I think again this is all lion castle stuff. Yeah, you can see the lion on both of their tunics. And you can see the air tree symbol and then the lion symbol on these banners. And this is one of those obelisks like what we saw over near the scorpion guy boss fight. Again, you can see the lion tree. And it doesn't have that glowing aura this time, so people are sort of speculating that means it's available for summoning or that you have summons coming in. They see you standing up. See a gate behind player. This like summon, this is Miyazaki confirmed this is an NPC summon. Got a knife. Not sure, nothing in their other hand. Ooh. Oops. Nothing in their other hand. And then we see this is like Dark Souls 3 weapon art for bows. This dodge or this shot coming up. You see this like winged symbol. I'm not sure what that means. You see, I think this is the main path again because you see this design on these cobblestones. You see, let's see if I can capture it here. So if you look at the NPC, it looks like, so it's a, oops, straight, they have a sword here, and then it flops down in this frame and becomes a whip. The look of these NPCs is interesting with the covering their face and just this hat. It's not, they sort of have a unique looking design. It looks more Eastern to me. I like how when he gets hit, he immediately pops up. Stuff you see when you're like framing through. I think some people may have mentioned that this is a like a mask, but I think this is just their face. I don't think they're doing well. Looks like, you know, I can't tell if this is torchlight, maybe some little flowers in the background. Oh, those healing flowers. So there you get this Dark Souls 3, like the weapon art firing off your shot. Skadoosh. We'll be moving on to our next shot. So here we have our four-winged dragon friend. Got some ancient dragon stuff on there. We can see the carts, a bunch of these carts from earlier. This is a ruined tower, but we also have a bunch of these cards. At least I think 7 of them. So, you know, and dragons love to hoard gold or whatever, so I don't know if that speaks toward the content of those carts. But I wanted to see, I can't tell, is the fire on this ground coming from the dragon breathing fire, or is this just fire that's already there? And it looks like that's just fire that's already there. Dragon got 4 wings, got some clear gold accents. Spitting some major fire. Might still be the one generating that fire. And then I can't tell or not if this is in the same area for sure. Same dragon. It's got the gold wings. And it's got this interesting plant behind, which on the snack covenant, on the snack covenant, Sophie and Sinclair mentioned that it's like this. It kind of looks similar to this Australian plant that only blooms when there's like fire, which is pretty rad. So it looks kind of similar. Otherwise, pretty interesting looking plant. Also interesting helmet for the player here. You got this little thing on top. Looks like they're using a staff. The sky is extremely blood red. And in this shot, I just wanted to point out again, you got some golden eyes, which are much easier to see super zoomed in. Golden eyes, golden wings. You got this like white hair coming off of them. And I think it's pretty rad that they're summoning some lightning from the sky. That, damn, that's so cool. How many fingers? 5 fingers. And as soon as it gets into their hand, it becomes like a bident. Looks awesome. That's got kind of an interesting design for the chest. You know, there's got these like ridges on the chest, but don't know exactly what that means. You can see one of those towers in the background that are often related to the air being around the Erd tree. See the double jump here, avoiding the waves that come out from that attack. You can see the blue aura. Again, this tree, this tower over here, got a gravestone, got these interesting plants, blood red sky, the air tree in the background. It's what a sight. See some like red electricity. So cool. Got this building in the background. Now, it's hard to see it well because you got this like dragon's wing too, but we could do some zooming in just to see if there's anything interesting to pick out. Let's see this dome, large building in the background. Now we got another cool fight, and we're gonna have a lot of quick cuts here, so this will be great. We're framing through, zooming in, capturing some of these details. Got a good shot of just so many intricate details in the armor sets in what we've seen of this game. Pulling out the blood red sword. So we can tell here with this, it's in the same area as the floating rubble with all the canine corpses. See the nice golden touches on the armor. A lot of, it's like this black armor with this gold touch. I would love this armor set. Awesome. See these like canine teeth likely, although, you know, also this person looks a little cat-like to me, but I think they're probably canine. Now we do see with this, let's see, some sort of symbol here. Can't really make out anything in particular. It's not an air tree though. See the wyverns floating around in the background. This dude jumping up about to shoot some red shit at us. See that like dash attack, the Dark Souls 3 weapon art, but you don't see a weapon used to do it. So that it's sort of a slightly different animation, I believe. Like with the knife, you like see that you do the knife as part of, you'd see the knife as part of the animation. That I didn't see any weapon as part of the animation. We see jumping in action as the player character jumps over. I believe in this shot too, you can make out, let's see, gotta let the rubble clear. I think it looks like there might be a golden fog wall back there. A nice shot of the boss. Got some good frames. Looks awesome. And then we get to the Valkyrie. And she's putting on her arm. You can see the marks on her arm, and you can see what looks to be a little bolt down here. There we go. Now you can see the Valkyrie. And she's got, you can see the the discoloration of her arm. She's putting on her prosthetic arm. You can see there's like this little bolt. I think her leg might be prosthetic too, and it's got this interesting pattern that personally kind of reminds me of the flayed skin seen in the one concept art, but I'm not sure. We'll see more of her cape later, but then you can make out what looks to be some, leaves, a tree, and it kind of looks to me like this is either ash or snow in this scene, but she's at the base of some tree, which is different from the air tree. It's a different leaf pattern, so I don't think it's the air tree here. The air tree has pretty distinctive like oak leaves, whereas these look more like maybe it's elm. You can also see here she's got the same, like, marks on her face too. See more of the tree in the background. Got kind of dirty fingernails. See that the blade she's holding doesn't appear to have a guard, so it's just like she's holding a slab of iron. I think these may be golden leaves. Even though it's not the air tree, it still looks kind of golden to me, which I think is worth noting. Some flowers, some white flowers down here. And then it's interesting that I hear so this this is super, this leaf that does look like a leaf from the air tree, but these leaves don't look like they're from the air tree. So there might be another tree wrapping around, but they do have sort of golden leaves. These do appear to be from the aired tree, though. Those are the same leaves we see in other shots. And those are multiple types of white flower on the ground. Yeah, tons of white flowers all in this arena. We see what appears to be a large tree in the background, chucking the player up. We'll get a flash of the cape. Just zoom in here. It's a cool shot. See some clipping, not sure what's happening here. I think this is unintentional with the I'm not quite sure. Something's going on with the texture there. See a flash of here. This is a tree, a different what tree symbol. Might not be the aired tree. I would think it might be. It's this gold symbol on her red cape. It's another tree symbol, but distinctive from the one we've seen. Yeah, you can really see it here. We've got a bunch of these like orby looking things. It's got this ring within the circle inside made of gold. And then you see this like Celtic patterning over here. And you can tell her arm's real messed up here. Like her arm is not in great shape. But neither is the player in this situation. So they're not doing well either. They're getting stabbed pretty hard. But slightly different armor set. So let's see. Yeah, you can see her arms all. Can't tell if that's a sleeve. I don't think that's her sleeve though. I think her arm is not doing great. But then again, like I said, neither are we. We got blood coming out everywhere, stabbing us right through. Pretty brutal. Advance it. And we got this guy. He's petting this wyvern with this big nose horn. We will see at the end of the trailer. He's got too many fingers. You see some gold leaves in the background. These golden plants. You can see this building, which we'll get better shots of later. It's got this big tree relief on the outside of this big tower. Something not gold chain. Nice shot of this armor here. You can see all these like golden flowers in the background. And this Vadi mentioned your character is like unsheathing their weapon. And like, will there be a unique animation for all of this? What if you're not wielding a weapon? Like, there's so many interesting. Be curious to see what the final version of this cutscene looks like with this boss fight. And I'm just zooming in on the helmet, taking a look at some of the details. Sort of this mess of like knots, but also maybe it's like roots or vines. Got the chainmail, fur coming off. Let's see. Pull back all those arms. Run off that cape. Let's see what some of these details are. You got this. Keep, you know, that looks similar to the eye we see later. I don't know if there is a relation. Got this interesting clasp. Let's take a look, peek at that crown. You see the crown. Very much not a golden eyes on this guy. They look almost like blind or corpse-like. Like they're not looking great. But he's got this golden crown. Let's see what we can see here. Got some golden plants in the background. You see the lion on axe. You see his face is not looking good. He needs some dental work too. He's got so many hands. There's just so many arms there. He has not dealt with this whole situation well. He's not looking good. See in the background the castle. Oh, interesting. The lighting flickers on that door in the background. It disappears. There we go. We got the lighting, some torches. Boop. No lighting and torches. Smash him down with a hammer. Now we got this dude. This dude who I call the Kirkwraith. He's got like thorns, vines all over him. Got a shield and like an executioner blade. Good shot of him. You can tell in the background it looks like it's at the lion castle. Got similar ornament on the architecture. Got this like dark wraithy looking grab. Again, you can see the Arid tree. Same architecture as the lion castle in the background, so at least here you're encountering him within the lion castle, although, you know, enemy placement has been known to change from trailer to final release. Oh, and I wanted to note that you can see the player holding two different swords. You can tell by the difference in the shape of the blade, and the guard is different between the two. Nice slam. A cut. So now you see the player fighting this wyvern with the pointy nose. Players wielding a big ass hammer. You can tell there's some of this ruined. Oops. Now you can see it. Fighting the wyvern. Players wielding a big ass hammer. See some of this ruined architecture that we could see in the main shot, and this sort of this bridge, which sort of helps to triangulate this as being right near the, that first main shot is in there. Getting roasted. So you got Smo with the weird weapon and the bowl on his head. Some people are saying it looks like there's like a golden fog gate over here, which might make this guy a boss, which makes sense. See some skulls on the ground, some candles. So maybe he's just trying to hang out. You see a symbol. It's not quite familiar, whatever banner that is in the background, so I'm not sure. Yeah, I think definitely looks like a golden fog wall over on the left side. Got a very interesting looking weapon. Then we got this guy who only has one arm, but his hand is still attached to this like double-sided axe, and he's sort of glowing within. Makes me think that maybe he's a golem or something. And you can see that the player is wielding the executioner blade that the Kirkwraith guy was using. And just for kicks and giggles, I wanted to take a look at the player armor a little bit. Got these little baubles and designs all over it. Pretty cool. Okay. Putting the smackdown on us. And then for here, keep note because we see the similar design in the interior with the Burger King guys, so that helps us know. And I'm trying to figure out if this castle is the same as that one castle we saw in the distance when the player character is riding their mount over on the nearby hillside with the misty forest below. And the architecture is similar, but I don't see some of like, I'm looking for the big dome. I'm looking for some other of the indications that it's the same place, and I don't quite see that. So this might be different, but it's not a guarantee just based off of this shot. Player sneaking up. You can tell that so the Burger King dude has stone feet, stone hand, stone head, so it might not be a mask. That Burger King dude might just be that, whereas these others you can see they have human hands, so they're not statues, whereas this Burger King guy might be a statue. Getting smacked. See, he has like a staff, and it's got glowing, got like these blue stone gem eyes, and this like gem on his head. See a little bird over in a cage there. See this crazy, like, the ground is so strange looking in that shot. It's like really glowing intensely. you see the similar design that we saw on the outside of these gargoyle looking dudes. You can see the bird, the guy in the back trying to stab with a rapier. And also the fenestration, the windows look very similar to what we saw on the outside of that one castle. Bring back this little like boop, little tower on his head. This is a slick armor. This is a cool looking effects on this shot, shooting at this giant wielding a big ass sword. Looks cool. And here we have our sort of forest spirit looking dude. You can see flowers growing off of the antlers of this stag, which could be any number of references. There is the note that this sort of looks like a golden fog wall over there, which wouldn't be surprising given this very much looks like a boss. And then you can tell like this is like in a cave. You can see some evidence of like these like, you know, stalactites or whatever they are. And then you have these other spectral deer in this shot. And the player character is wearing this armor set we saw in the screenshot, and then they're using these claw weapons. Interesting looking boss. Yeah, you can see those flowers coming off. And actually these like branches continue down the back. There's like these spines. It's got the skull head. Got sort of like a skeletal body. Yeah, this person looks like the player character is kneeling before this person in the mask. Sort of dirty clothes. I like some of these details. You can see like this moss on the stones. That's nice. Now you got these two. And as has been noted in the screenshot, there's like, you know, tentacles coming out of this painting, but there's not here. This looks like the guy from the leaked Chinese concept art, or not Chinese concept art, but the Chinese content creator Longxi Bang Bang Tang showed off some stuff, and this dude looked like his face was coming off of a snake in that shot. Looks very similar. I think some people have also mentioned that maybe there's a similarity in some of the symbols here to like maybe one of the glowing sigils we saw before. I'm not 100% convinced of that, but perhaps we will see this guy in a shot soon. He has like this like batwing helmet, and he's got this like horned shield. Really interesting looking guy. And then you got this lady with her mask on. And let's see the pattern on her. It kind of looks tree-like. I'm not sure if it is, but I wouldn't be surprised. Trying to spot how many times you see a tree in this trailer, or tree imagery. Some flowers. And then this is the guy with the ears all over his armor. You can make out over here. He's reading, I guess, furiously. And before I blow it back out, general books. Lots of books going on here. Scrolls. Oh, wow. See, there's so many quick shots here that are like so worth seeing with some detail. See this big face in the background, this like skull, sort of looks like Void from Berserk. Especially when framing through, you can see that it's the player, the direction of the fire. The player is shooting fire at this big hand that's in desperate need of being manicured. Big purple gem on this very ringed finger. There's this interesting something in the background on a snowy area. Some large, almost looks like a corpse in the background. Got this. This appears to be in the Lion Castle. You can tell by the architecture over here and some of the background stuff. The gold, the ornament is very similar. This is shooting jets of fire from 3 different directions, if not more. Got a nice shot of the back of this player armor with the little tower on top of the head. They're wielding spear. Got a big ass shield. We'll frame as it approaches. See the player backing up. Pretty massive enemy. This like siege engine thing. And this is the eye where this is the eye with the bridge of the nose, it looks like below. And then the shape of the eye sort of evokes a similar pattern to what we saw on the one, the many armed boss. This like pupil within these other pupils swirling around. Some people are saying that maybe this eye is on the chest of this dude. I'm not totally sure. He's got very dead looking eyes. He's got a sad mouth. He is frowning. Looks like he's also in a snow area. You can see flakes falling. Trees without leaves on them. See what looks to be a naked player character in the classic From Software thong being grabbed by this giant like 3-fingered hand with this like gold glowing within the hand. Otherwise pretty corpsey looking hand. Seems like this might be like near the beginning of the game is like an opening character creation thing. Here we see that knight from earlier. You can see the similar like bat wing helmet and the horned shield, but now he has these like golden wings, which may be, a special ability. It looks magical, sort of conjured, similar to what we saw the scorpion guy using. Can't really make out too much of the background, but it looks like he uses it to like maybe back away. We gotta jump back from the player. And let's just take another look at him. Got this interesting like rooted pattern. There's like kind of looks like roots going to these central orbs, almost looks like eyes. It's an interesting design. Now we're back. You can see to this main boss. You can see these golden flowers really clearly. It's gonna take some swipes at us. golden tree in the background. There's a lot of gravestones. Looks like this might be a graveyard. Framing through, seeing that attack. Character rolls through the attack. See a bunch of golden flowers in the background. See a fog gate over here. You see what looks to maybe be a dragon corpse in the background over there. Ooh, let's go back 1 second. I want to see what his cape looks like. I actually haven't really taken a good look at his cape. So it's got those Celtic patterns. Looks like it has the red and green of like the Erd tree and the lion. Sort of faded. It's hard to make out anything specific on the cape besides just the general Celtic pattern. Let's see. Oops. Yeah, looks like we got general Celtic pattern. Debris flying everywhere. See the Erd tree in the background. You can see the red and the green again. So many different hands. Getting that ugly mug in the shot. Yeah, he does not look good. That's what I was talking about with the eye, with this symbol, with like the pupil, with all the pupils surrounding. Not sure that it's the same, it's just a similar shape. See if there's anything else to pick out. Like I said before, lots of tombstones. Character jumping with a shield. Sword. And then you got the Elden Ring logo. Of course, he's going to give us fiery dragon arm. See the tree relief in the background. These golden flowers everywhere. Golden trees. See, he's got the dragon arm on him. Got his pair of axes. Looking beefy. There we go. January 21st, 2022. And there you have that. So there you go. I hope that was informative or interesting for you going through. If you've made it to this point, thank you for bearing with me. That's what I like to do. Is to go through there, take a look at what details there are, and I think it's fun to take a look at that. And there you go. Nice to see some zoom in shots, catch all the little details, just to see what else you might be able to pull out. But this has been the Elden Wait, 193 days until Elden Ring comes out, and we're not panning through trailers anymore. We're just playing the damn game, which will be awesome. And so if you enjoyed this, give the video a like. If you want more Elden Ring content, I will continue to do it. So subscribe to the Lore Hunter. And I want to give a big shout out to all the patrons who help support me and make it possible for me to continue making more and better content. And I will see you for the next Elden Wait.